Hey friends, good evening. It's your old pal SVH here, coming at you with a Daily Nugget today, a special edition of the Daily Nugget, where we're going to add a little extra to it. Because when I read today's Daily Nugget, it just kind of reminded me of something that I wanted to share here on the channel as well. So I think this will be really cool, and I think you guys will dig it. So here we go. I'm going to start off with the Daily Nugget, which is from the guy on of Hazrat Nayat Khan. And this one's really good. I can find it on my page here. Okay. The one who walks, regardless of success, success pursues him. The one who pursues success in life, success runs from him. Let me read that again. The one who walks, regardless of success, success pursues him. The one who pursues success in life, success runs before him. So there's definitely some great interpretation that I can get from this, and I could give a little bit of an assessment of it, but I thought that it was very fitting to share something very personal from my own life. And I've been wanting to share this letter that I wrote a few years back that really changed the course of my own career in music and in life, really. And I just thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to share in conjunction with this. So I'm going to read it one more time, and then I'm going to go into the letter and kind of tell how that all ties in. The one who walks regardless of success, success pursues him. The one who pursues success in life, success runs before him. So the letter I wanted to share dates back to 3/10 of 09. So it's kind of interesting. I wrote this in 2009, however many years ago that it was, that 12 years ago, almost to the day. I wrote it yesterday, 11 years ago or whatever, 12 years ago. And so let me give a little background story and how this kind of ties into the Daily Nugget for today. So, I spent many years chasing success, trying to live the dream. I was an aspiring professional musician, did achieve a certain level of professional musician status, but that was kind of always my pursuit in life, was chasing after success, chasing after the dream, always fighting to try to find that record deal or that that new band or whatever it was, to get to that next level of success. And I was always chasing it, and I always felt like it was running from me as I chased it. And I came to learn that is the case in life, that the more you chase after success, the more it runs from you. But the more that you just walk your daily life, living and being who you are and resounding your own personal note within the symphony of the universe, that's when success starts to come to you. And it's really come full circle because, today in particular, in the last 24 hours, I've had some things come about in my career that are pretty interesting, because 2.5 years ago, I was kind of setting some things in motion and, had kind of a concept or a vision in mind. And some of those things now, 2 years later, are starting to manifest and come to fruition. So it all happens in its right time. It all happens in God's time, if it's, excuse me, if it's really meant to be for you. And I just thought this would be a really good time to share this letter. So the background behind this letter is when I, back in March of 2009, I was waiting for an answer to find out how I made out on an audition that I did for a band. So I was a really big fan of the rock band Korn, and one of the guys in Korn had left to go solo. And when he did his own solo record, he was putting a band together to tour, and that was Brian Headwelch from Korn. And so when he left the band and started this whole thing, he had his own little journey to kind of try to find, himself and where he was at in his own life. And I auditioned for this band. So I sent a video in. It was a video audition where you'd send something in to the management company, and then they would review it, and then they would pick the top people to come out for an audition. So, I sent the video in, and I waited and I waited, and I did a lot of praying over this one. And I really just felt in my prayers in my meditation over it too, that I was getting really clear signs that this was my gig and that I was going to get this, and that there was really nothing to worry about or be concerned about when it comes to, getting this. It's mine. It's already there. You own it. So just wait for it, And so come 3/10/09, and this is back in the times of MySpace, and got on MySpace to look at the results of the audition and the bandmate announcements. And I'm going down through and reading all the different guys, and then I see lead guitar from Sandusky, Ohio, and I'm like, I'm from Sandusky, Ohio. It's got to be me. And then they named some other guy, and I was like, who's this guy? I know everybody back there. I was the big fish in the little pond, and I know all these people. So who's this guy, and how did he get my gig? And so at any rate, I was kind of really just disappointed and let down, and I felt really at the moment like just defeated, and I didn't know what else to do. I'd been chasing success for so long, and I was just kind of tired of it. And I really thought like I had clear answers that this was my gig. So what I did is I sat down and I got out a piece of paper and I wrote this letter. Now it's typed now, but I actually wrote it out, and I wanted to share it with you. So I got this letter. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, and then I'm going to tell you what happened after I wrote this letter. Dear God, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you in a manner much differently than we usually do. I know that we have had an inseparable bond, and that you have answered so many of my prayers that I can't even begin to express my level of gratitude for you and for the ceaseless love and guidance that you have given me my whole life. I've never been more alive and awakened than I've been these last few years that I've been here in California. I've been truly blessed with an incredible wife, an amazing family, and a wealth of spiritual growth that far exceeds anything I could have ever imagined. Again, thank you from the depths of my heart. But my real reason for writing you this letter is to hopefully find some answers to some questions that have been painfully burning inside of me for quite some time now. As we've been created in your image, I am hopeful that as the thoughts escape my mind through the tip of this pen, that you may at the same time help me to understand where I may have gone wrong. So here's my issue. Yep, you guessed it, my music career. Where do I fit into the mix? No pun intended. I know that there were many years that I honored and served you with my talents as a young rising rocker. Things seemed to be looking good for a bright future in music. I know that soon after I fell into a dark existence of anger, bitterness, and self-serving ideology. But you always led me to a greater truth, and I always followed. I understand that I'm still working night and day to repay my karmic debts from those painful years. But you delivered me out of the darkness, and I have been basking in your divine light ever since. But when it comes down to this music stuff, something's not right. And I need your help. I need you to help me understand because it's beyond my level of understanding. I've spent over 20 years perfecting my craft, and the whole time I never lost sight of the power of artistic expression. I always tried to spread a message of hope and self-perseverance, even in those dark times. These last few years, my spiritual growth has given me such profound conviction to reach out to others with displaced anger and suffering, to be a living example of how you are the composer and we are merely the instruments. I've effaced my ego, obliterated the concept of being a rock star, and decided with all absolution to follow your higher calling wherever it may lead me. But this instrument is 35 years old, beaten up, broken down, and out of tune. I need you to intonate me. I need a good luthier to reconstruct me, refret my neck, wind the pickups nice and tight, string me up, and intonate me so that your song will carry the way that it was intended. Your music is so intense, so profound, and transformative, and it needs to resonate from the depths of the ocean to the peaks of the Himalayas and beyond. I'm playing your song, and my fingers are bleeding now more than ever. God, if I'm learning the notes incorrectly, then give me perfect pitch. If I'm mispronouncing your lyrics, then infuse me with the power of the word. If my amplifier is distorting the purity of your divine sound, then recone my speakers and turn off the effects. I need to know that I'm performing your sacred symphony correctly and expressively. Please send me a new songbook with detailed notation so that I can be the divine expression of you. Then take me on the road with you to tell the masses of the beautiful music of the beloved. Raise my frequency and voice to stream out to the world, that they may also long to be tuned to your frequency of inner peace and love. God, please fix this instrument and play it until it cannot be played anymore. And even then, may its sound forever resonate in the hearts of many. I am yours now and forever. SVH. Well, I haven't read this in a while. So yeah, as I said, I auditioned for a gig. I didn't get the gig. After praying about it, meditating about it, and really truly believing in my heart that I had the gig. And so then I sat down and wrote this letter. And I cried a little bit. I was, very emotional at the moment. And I took the notebook and closed it, and I put it in a drawer in my desk. And didn't really think much more about it. And I think it was 3 days later, 4 days later, maybe, I get a call from Brian Head Welch's manager, the band I was trying out for. And he says, "Hey, Scotty, you interested in coming out to Phoenix and trying out for this band still?" And I said, "Absolutely, 100%, And he said, "Yeah, unfortunately, the other guy that we picked, he's not really into the spiritual concept of, where we're going with the band. And he ended up taking another gig with Marilyn Manson." So quite a switch from a Christian rock band to Marilyn Manson. So he ended up going to be the bass player for Marilyn Manson instead of the guitar player for Brian Head Welch. So I ended up getting a chance to go out to Phoenix, had some family that lived out there. So I went out and stayed for a couple of days, and I did an audition, and within an hour I had the gig. And man, what a wild ride it was, and it really just the letter just really, it was a big testimony in our story, as we toured around the world. We toured around the country several times and to other places in Europe and New Zealand. This letter was in my pocket. I carried it around all the time, and I read it on radio interviews, and I read it to pastors at churches that we played at. I read it to kids at venues that felt there was no hope. And sorry. It was just powerful, to be able to really see what I just read in the bowl of sake come to life in my own life. When you chase after success, when you run after it, it just keeps running. But when you just live your life and be who you are and give all that you have of yourself and of your being and of your expression to the world, freely and openly, then it all starts to fall in place. Because if it's really your purpose, if it's really something that's meant to be for you, then it's going to happen. It's there. But when you're chasing it, sometimes you're chasing your own ideal of it, your own concept of it. And for me, that was the big downfall. I had my own idea. I came from small town Ohio, reading heavy metal magazines when I was a kid, watching these bands grow up, thinking that that's the life that I want to live, and this is what I got to do to get there. And you put all these pieces in order. I need the management company, and then I need the booking agent, and then I need the record deal, and and so on and so forth. But you don't need any of that. You don't really need any of that. That's the perception that we're given. And I think now we're starting to really see things unfold, especially with the entertainment industry, where we're starting to see that what we thought was reality isn't really reality at all. It's just all a show, every bit of it. And I really came to see that, like I said, I was very fortunate to be able to tour around the world I was driving, being driven around Texas in stretch limos and stuff like that. But I was making, anywhere from $30 a day to $300 a day, but mostly on the lower side. And, it just got to a point where it's like, you can't make a living like that. And I had a daughter on the way. So unfortunately, I had to walk away from that. But, again, it's really a matter of looking at what it is that you want in life and what it is that you want to experience. And you might think that it's supposed to happen at a certain time, but it has to happen in God's time. It really does. And if you keep chasing or running after it, it's just going to keep running from you. So it's important to just really stay true to your vision. See yourself in that place that you want to be. Visualize it and experience feel yourself emotionally being in that moment. And the more you do that, the more you're bringing that energy into your life. But if you're just kind of chasing the concept or the ideal, then you're not really living the dream, you're chasing the dream, right? So it's really important to take a look at all these different angles and all these different concepts. And to me, this letter was really powerful, and it spoke to a lot of people. And, it's been a testimony that I've shared for 12 years now. So it's been a real honor to be able to kind of share it with you this evening. And I mentioned this in one of my videos a few weeks back. And I was like, man, I really got to dig that letter up. And today when I read that Bolasaki, it was just like, this is the time to share the letter, because it's totally aligned with the idea of today's Bolasaki. I hope that that encourages you a little bit, and again, this was a different form of prayer for me. I've never sat down and wrote God a letter. I either meditate or I say a prayer, get out in nature or something like that. But to really write it down and have it to read back and to reflect back on, and the whole idea of, comparing myself to an instrument, that just came very natural, because at the time I felt like just an old beat up instrument, and I just wanted to be a good, solid instrument that could play this music that was, hopefully channeling through me. And it was a beautiful analogy. So glad I got to share that with you guys today and make it part of today's Bolasaki. I hope that inspires you and gave you some insight. And I'm going to go ahead and read the Bolasaki with one more time before I leave you with that, before I bid you a fair adieu for the night. So again, the Bolasaki from the Gaian of Hazrat Inayat Khan. The one who walks regardless of success, success pursues him. The one who pursues success in life, success runs before him. So there you have it, my friends. There's your Bolasaki for March the 11th. Again, I really appreciate everybody checking these out. Really hoping to do more of these live streams. Sorry for the late night live stream. I was just getting really late in the evening and tied up with work stuff. And thought it'd be good to just do a little live stream here and just reach out this way. And I got some comments over here. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Avenging Scapegoat. Hello, S23. How you doing? Foxes on Mushrooms. I like that name. That's pretty good. Going 5150. We all a little crazy, aren't we? S23. Let's see what we got here. SBH, one of the dopest, deepest I've ever met. Always looking out for people. All the passion and drive always makes me want to be a better person. The love for his family and his craft. It's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'm trying to do my best to just, share what I know. Nothing but love from a homie. I think that. Thank you, S23. I appreciate that. Glad to share this with you tonight. I'm thinking of writing a letter to God, more like a long apology letter for me. You know what? That's okay. If you got some things that you want to get off your chest, this is a really honest way to do it. I just felt really moved by reading it back. I just wrote it down as a stream of consciousness. It just came out. It wasn't something that I put a lot of thought or sat back and, what's the next word I want to write? It just came out. And it was a real honest expression of what I was feeling at the time. And I think it really did a lot to heal some things for me. And it certainly opened some doors, because just surrendering to whatever God's will would be in my life when it came to this situation with my music career, it was that surrendering that brought it to me. It wasn't anything that I did. It wasn't anything that, I put together to make it happen. So yeah, just really, just an amazing experience there. So yeah, I encourage you, write a letter to God. He will listen. She will listen. It will, the, the all pervading consciousness will listen. So yeah, anyway, I just want to take a few minutes to say thank you. Appreciate everybody checking out the Bolasaki the Bolasaki. I always say that because I used to do the Bolasaki every day, the Daily Nugget every day. And if you're watching this on one of the super channels, I encourage you to go ahead and like and subscribe down below. I also encourage you to go over to my page, youtube.com/thesvh, THESVH. Hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that we can really get in there and do what we can to help each other out, lift each other up, and raise our vibrations to something much higher. And Avenging Scapegoat, I see your message here that you've been really down the past few weeks. I'm going to keep you in my prayers, and I'm going to help lift you up. And you write that letter, and you'll see that it's going to do a lot for you. So I hope you've all been encouraged by this today. Again, I really just appreciate sharing all this with you, and love y'all very much. So blessings. Have a good night, and we will be back again tomorrow with another Daily Nugget. Amen.